Hi, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I'm so glad you're back with me. Today is the day that we read out of the Bible storybook. We're reading part 1, which is all the stories of creation. And it's been so interesting how God has created everything out of chaos. He made this beautiful world. He separated the waters so that we would have the sky above and oceans down below and rivers. And then he brought up mountains and dry land. And he's made the light. This world is getting beautiful. Oh, and before he made the light even, he made all sorts of plants and trees. And then he made the light. Because of course they would need that. And so would everything else he made. So today's story is story 6, Out of the Silence, a Song. Now this world that God made was so beautiful. I mean, it was more than could be imagined, even more beautiful than it is now. But there was something about this world. There was no sound. Well, once in a while, if the wind would blow, you could hear it blowing through the trees. And of the ocean, when the waves were falling or lapping, you could hear the lapping of that. Probably at a waterfall, you could hear the splashing. But beside that, there was no sound. God had created this beautiful world to be inhabited. So that means lived in. And he didn't intend for it to be just beautiful. He also intended for it to have sound. So let's see how part of that went. So this was the morning of the 5th day. Let's see. All of his preparations of the first day, second, third, fourth day were all ready now to make a home for all sorts of living creatures. So now, as the sun shines warmly and bright upon the lovely flower-covered countryside and the deep blue sea beyond, God moves into action again. And I'm going to quote from the Bible. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly." That means just so much. "The moving creatures that have life, and the fowl," that's birds, "that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heavens," so up in the skies. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth through the waters abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl, remember that's a bird, after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters of the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth." Multiply, he wanted them to have babies. What a day it was. What a beautiful day. Don't you wish you could have been there? I do. I would have loved to see God make the first goldfish, the first silver salmon, and send the first whale surging through the sea like a giant submarine. I'm sure he enjoyed himself. Goes my clock, I'll pause. It's ending now. I love that clock. I'm sure he enjoyed himself making all those fish. But how did he think of so many different kinds? The big, fat porpoise and the little brown trout, the marvelous blue sailfish and the tiny little minnow, the sunfish and the starfish, the swordfish, the cuttlefish, that kind of looks a little bit like an octopus, the crabs and the shrimp, lobsters and eels. I cannot begin to think of all of them, but God thought of all of them. He designed them and made them all in one day. So this is the picture that they're giving. I even see a turtle in that picture. Made them all different, all with the power to live and move and breathe underwater. How wonderful our Creator is. How we should honor Him and adore Him. But making thousands of varieties of fish all at once was not enough. On that same day, He made all the birds also. His marvelous mind planning the wingspan of an eagle, the gorgeous plumage, that means feathers, of the peacock, the bright colors of the parrot, the mimicking skills of the mockingbird, they copy everything, and the radar of the bat. Look, just look at them. What a marvelous sight. Can you see them in your minds? Hundreds and thousands of birds in every size and shape and color, rising from the earth, flapping their wings, swooping down hither and yonder in the first joy of living. And what's that? Hey, the silence is broken at last. From everywhere comes the sound of singing. The birds are singing. The air is filling up with beautiful songs. From far up in the blue comes the sweet tilt of the skylark. From deep in the forest, the lovely sound of the nightingale and the shrill trail of the canary. Nearby are sparrows twittering and doves are cooing, cuckoos are cuckooing, meadowlarks, whippoorwills. They give forth all their merry songs in praise to Him who made them. What a beautiful sound and harmony. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And this is some of the pictures that this author and the illustrator drew. You can probably think of more birds. Do you enjoy their songs? I do. So that was the end of the fifth day. Wow, God's got a lot of things done in a short period of time. He's amazing, and He did all this preparing this world for you and for me. He wanted us to see all these beautiful things and hear these wonderful sounds. So, I'll be reading a Bible story, not tomorrow, but the next day, and we'll see what happens on day 6. All right. It's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I love you, I really do. But more importantly, God loves you, and He always will. So, I want you to keep dreaming and always keep a story in your heart. All right. Bye. Talk to you tomorrow.